birthday, Sweet 16, and ranked number 7 in the state at one time. Thank you, Willie. And let me say this, here's the guy that kept me in coaching when I probably was one out from it. And when I needed to find, I started doing just like the father. I still think of it that way. Larry, maybe you said that, well, we better know what I'm talking about. When I went out, when I needed to find, I never failed to go sit down at Willie's kitchen table and talk over the things with him. He was always there for me. He always helped me. And I say that because of Willie, I stayed coaching there for 4 or 5 years. And I'll always have a special relationship with Willie and Margie. Our second person a year ago is a superintendent now, one of the succeeds with him. He's been awfully good to the city. He's a great person, a great basketball backer, a great backer of the Banquet school system. Mr. Charles White, our present superintendent. Charles, thanks for all your help through the years. The next one goes to our principal, who's totally dedicated to having a great school here at Clay County High School, boys basketball, every other sport, and every academic achievement. Mr. Doug Adams. The next one is the Fishing Award and Hunting Award. It goes to Wendell Murray, who again is here as assistant principal. Banquet, one of that. Our next recipient is from the First State Bank, and his daughter is a cheerleader here. He's always been a great backer. Well, we're not going to remember him. They got him back at all. Mr. Harvey Nixon. Thank you, Harvey, for all you do. Our next recipient is Charles and Becky Simon, great boosters tonight. They may not be here because they got a wedding coming up tomorrow. Not to each other, but to sisters. Our next recipient, the guy who stood with us all the years. No matter what we ever need, all you have to tell him is this what you need, and he got his there. A lot of times we didn't have to tell him. He was there anyway. Jack Wood, Wade Martin. Our next recipient, the mayor of Banquet, also runs White Chevrolet, Mr. Doug White, W. Jack. Not here, well, I think they got something coming up tomorrow also. Our next recipient with a representative from W. Second, please come forward. What about Kelly? One of his family members here. I know W had a meeting with a hospital and he said he couldn't make it in time for a presentation. One of the games was doing to his family business. I don't control that one, but let me say this. Throughout the years, without James Beckham and W. Beckham, I don't know Michael Coach. They kept so many boys on the floor playing. And James was the older friend that died with that. When he died, he had to come and take care of my mom. great deal of fun from being out there and enjoying it at the same time. And he said, not at all. When she walked on the floor and hugged my neck, I just didn't tell her who's bringing his mother a walk. Little Ruth. Wherever we go, sinners are with us. Whatever I need, I need a bunch of those, it's there. Whatever else I need, you're more smart, he's there. Whenever we make a trip, sinner goes is like a member of the family. So maybe that's my great grandmother, I don't know. Those special people will make some special contributions to the Wayne County basketball program. We appreciate all those people. There's a lot of others here that we haven't recognized that we want to thank. You people that just stood there and back in the stand, you people that were behind us, you people who stood with us throughout all the years. You'll never know how much we appreciate you. You'll never know how much we care about you. You make Wayne County basketball great. We've got a guy just walked in, Mr. Jack White. Would you come up, please? As y'all know, while Jack wasn't here, we said all those things about him. I won't repeat those because we don't want him to hear them now. But we do appreciate White still away. We do appreciate Jack and Doug White. Without these boys, I wouldn't say it's coaching without 85 coaching. Doug talking in and coming back, I was going to leave. And these guys have been with us all the years. We appreciate it. Thanks, Jack. Those are some of the special boosters that we wanted to introduce. The next person on our program, I think everyone knows it, but I want to tell you a few things about it. In 1975, we went to the state tournament. I bet Frank Jones, Bill Campbell, went to Christian County play. They came back and they spread out on my kitchen table the awfully collaboration of strategic things since the D-Day invasion. And I looked through them and I said, boy, can we win this game? And I don't think so. And I said, what about it, Frank? He said, looks like maybe a 44 line. Best team I've ever seen. He said, it's point guard. He's got a guy named Buckner, 6'3". He's the best point guard I've ever seen play in high school. He said, the field, they got a guy 6'5", named 4'8". He's the best rebounder I've ever seen out of 23 games. At one forward, they got a 6'9" guy, Victor Jordan. He's high school all above. So this is going to be a tough one. Well, we went out there and a guy named Burns Smith said, don't do this. So the state tournament rebounding record. A guy named Burns over here scored 27 points. Now, Victor Jordan, 6'9", high school all above, and 9. And we got beat 69-66. Tough game. Went down to the final shot. That's the kind of player that this fellow was. He'll be the next coach in Clay County, James Burton. My job here is to give the KB a first award. Before I do that, I'd like to say one special thank you to the group of people sitting up here right now. Because for the last 2 years, I've had the pleasure of being on the state coaching staff with these people. They're fortunate to be coaching on down to Larry, Mike, Joanne. They emphasize what it means to work hard. We have a program of excellence like we've had over the past several years. It's been a lot for me to be on this staff. It's also been a lot for me 19 years ago when I played it. It's hard to believe it's been that long. Coach Keith was coaching me, and Coach Campbell, and Coach Sideboard. And those are some of the best years of my life. I really enjoyed that. And I'll always hold a special place in my heart for these people. We're really losing some quality individuals. They're still going to be around, still going to be our friends, but the places they've been, the quality that they have shown, JV team, the freshman team this year, had a pretty good year. Our freshman team won the region. It's the first year that they've had a regional tournament for freshmen. We were fortunate enough to win something. All our players were a little bit of disadvantage because I ended up coaching both teams. And to be honest with you, they didn't get to practice as much as we would have liked to. But the rest of it, just working at it, each game they kept getting better and better. And we're fortunate enough at the end of the year to win the regional tournament. And some of those players are here, I think all of them may not be here. I'd like them to come forward so you can take a good look at it. Freshman team was Dante Wade. One here, this basically was the nucleus of our team. We have some individual awards to give away. Our leading scorer this year on the freshman team averaged 14.4 points per game. An outstanding athlete has a tremendous future ahead of him. Dante Wade. Great intelligence, made the winning bucket that won the regional championship with Jackson County championship game, Tim Ryan. Most 3-point field goals, I don't think he did tonight. This is goal for Larry Michael Martin. We had a tie for our leading rebounder. We had two big bangers in there, Brandon Smith and James Ray Jones. These healthy-looking young men out there. The next award is for best defensive player. You look at him, he's not very big, but if you look at his heart inside, you see why he's a great defensive player, big size. Our JV team went 20-3, which was a very good record. They finished up the season real strongly in the last 12 basketball games of the year. And those guys would come forward, Darrell Wayne Hopkins, these people that you're looking at up here, with the exception of Henry Harrison, who was the only star that will return next year, will be our varsity next season. These guys have got some work ahead of them, but the good thing about it is, it's pretty good basketball players up here, but more than that, there's a great individuals up here. A world of confidence in these guys. Now for an individual award, I think Stephen made it in. Stephen Asher, with the leading field goal percentage this year, shot 61%. The leading scorer on the JV team, averaged 14.5 points a game. An outstanding future ahead of Wayne Hopkins. Our leading rebounder on the JV team, 9.9 rebounds a game, Randy Starr. Our best defensive award goes to probably our best athlete on the team, Dante Wade. Most three-point field goals. We have 19 three-pointers on the season, James Delta Smith. Our best free throw shooter got 81% from the free throw line, James Ray Jones. First class award was voted on by the players themselves, the most valuable player award. It goes to Darwin Hopkins. Thank you very much. Our next award goes to a person who has been in 14 years of your life. A good friend, a great coach, maybe start calling coach about this. So I can call him cheerleader sponsor. Just cut that sponsor out, I'm a coach. And right in this guy's case, when a coach says something, you got to do it. So I said, well, if you're a coach, I got to do it. So here's one of the greatest cheerleading coaches ever. Let's hear it for Joanne.
I've never ever tried to really be a coach, take our stage and sponsor two codes, and he does lie. also served an All-American cheerleader 3 years out of her 4 years here at St. John's Hospital. Janine Morgan is serving as an All-American cheerleader this year. But my senior girls, alphabetically, Donna England, Sarah Jackson, and my third Lewis girl, Lee Ann Lewis. I've had all three. And last but not least, and most definitely one of the most special girls that I've ever had the privilege of working with. Not only is she a great cheerleader, but she also ranked number 2 in the class of 1994, and we just were notified that she is the winner of a $500 K-pop cheerleading scholarship. Crystal Penny. Give them one big round of applause. I'll thank the burning enforcement for at this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the man himself, Bad Off.
Notice how fast I got up with the comment there. She does that to me as well all the time. Anyway, on this year's basketball season, it was sort of a little bit of up and down here. We had some great moments. We had some that maybe were just a little bit flat. Overall, it was an excellent year the way it turned out. We started the season in December, going to the South Lawn Invitational Tournament. We took on Jackson County that ended up as a regional runner-up in the 13th region. We beat Boyle County. We beat Lawrence County, number 1 and 2 teams in the 12th region, and won that championship. We came back home and had a great win over Knox Central. The Miller shipped one in with 1 second to go to win the ball game. We beat a great Bullet East team out of the 8th region, 113-61. We beat Norman, South Carolina, which was one of the top 2 ranked teams in the state of South Carolina by 20. And then to wind these up, we played Corey. And we'll tell you what the score was. Well, we finished December with a 10-1 record. January, we had some real nice wins. We won our 7th annual WYMC Mountain Classic, which features the best teams in the mountains of Eastern Kentucky. Nobody's ever won it to play him. Our boys brought him back home again. We beat Island Central and Shelby Valley, which at that time was number 1 and 2 ranked teams in the 15th region. In February, we got some great ball clubs. We down some real good. We beat Knox County, Simon Kitchen, Haynesville, Elkhorn City, Anderson County, South Law, 45, where competing in his field of students. We headed into the district tournament. We struggled through the district. We had to come back to beat both Rock Castle County and Jackson County. We won that district with Mark Jason Smith hit a banker with 2 seconds to go. As hard as we've ever struggled in the district tournament, the boys were behind, came back, and won. Showed a lot of heart. In the regional tournament, we went in as the 4th best team. We won our first game and we faced Harlem, which at that time was ranked number 1 in the state in the Associated Press coaching tournament. It was a great game. It was a great moment when it comes to it. We ranked right there with any win that we've ever had. The gym was packed to the ceiling. Fans were ready to play basketball early and play it well. And the players were also. And we knocked off the number 1 team in the state of Kentucky in one game that will always be a memorable moment for me. A moment that I will remember, a game that I will always remember. One of the top 3 or 4 games ever in the history of Clay County. We had to win it 56-55. Miller again was 2-0. Hit a foul shot with 2 seconds to go. We advanced to the state tournament. We took on the other number 1 team in the state. Back-to-back number players please come forward and accept your plaques and just stay up here for the presentation of the other trophies. Let's have those players up here, if I can find their name. Anthony Stone. Guys just running out and worked all year for us. He's going to whip Casey Lester when he's playing. You know who Casey is, but he does work every day. Casey's over there, and he dribbles around Casey. Casey hasn't stopped him yet. Another guy that's one of my favorite players for the future. I think he's going to be a great one. He's one of the hardest working people that we've ever had. He carries on a Clay County Tiger tradition of hard work and really striving for excellence. Big side for him. Our next individual is the starting quarterback on our football team. He's also a great point guard. Great future ahead of him, Tim Rogers. Our next individual is one of my favorite players. He's the hardest working guy on the Tiger squad. I think he's just going to be sensational in the future. I couldn't be more proud of him. Dante Wade. Our next guy is probably the best shooter coming back next season, John Michael Johnson. When he goes, next guy is one of my favorites. Probably, a lot of people probably wonder what he's doing in March. You can't keep the guy away from March. He won't quit. He just keeps coming back and playing and playing and playing and doing whatever he needs done. He's a guy that I hope just turns into a great player for Clay County. He's a great shooter. He needs to throw a couple of inches, but he's a wonderful person. Travis Levy. Next guy on the varsity is one that I project that might possibly turn into maybe one of the top players ever to play in Clay County. I think his future is unlimited. He has the size, he has the speed, he has the shooting ability, he has the movement. If he puts it all together, there is no limit to what he could do. Darryl Hopkins. Next individual was the leading three-point shooter on the B team. He could have a lot of that guard spot out there and have a lot of shooting. James Delbert Smith. Our next individual started a lot of games for us. He finishes a lot of big rebounds, a lot of big points. He's a hard worker. I look forward for him to having a great season next year. Randy Bizarre. The next individual is the only starter that will return next year. He's going to be the leader on this team. A lot will be expected of him, and I think he can deliver a lot. A great individual, Henry Garrett. The last four are seniors. The seniors carry the brunt of the ball from this year. They're primarily responsible for most of the success that we had this season. Our first senior had 330 rebounds, scored 431 points, got 55% from the field, made the 49 districts, the 13th region, famous recipe classes, and the WYFC Mountain Players All-Tournament team. A great player who won 2 games on last-second shots, being both Doc Central and Harvard, Kenny Miller. Kelly scored 25 on his ACT. He will be playing basketball next year at Center College. Our next individual only played 2 years of high school basketball. He set a 2 shooting record by shooting 63 and 9/10% from the field. Had 157 rebounds, 57 steals, 429 points, and averaged 13 a game. He was a member of the 49th District, the 13th Region, Cumberland Falls Invitational, the WYFC Mountain Classic All-Tournament team, and he was voted by Big South Magazine the Player of the Year in the South in football. A great athlete. He'll be attending Eastern next year and playing football for him, but a great basketball player as well. It's Jay Nixon. Be careful when I shake his hand. I bring you right down to his knees. Our next individual is an honor roll student with over a 99 average for the 4 years here at Clay County High School. He scored 590 points, averaged 18 points a game, 153 rebounds, 47 steals. He was a member of the WYFC Mountain Classic All-Tournament team, the 49th District, the 13th Region, and in the state tournament was honored by being the winner of the Ted Sanford Award for academic excellence, sportsmanship, citizenship, and basketball ability. One of the finest honors that can go to an individual. Mr. Mark Jason Smith. Next individual was a leading scorer. He scored 752 points, got 57% from the field, averaged 22 and 3/10 points per game, was a member of the Cumberland Falls Invitational All-Tournament team, the famous Recipe All-Tournament team, most valuable player of the WYFC Mountain Classic, a member of the 49th District All-Tournament team, the 13th Region All-Tournament team, and a member of the Fury Journal All-State Squad. He will be attending Union College next year, playing basketball for them. A great individual, Chris McKinney. We're just going to keep these individuals up here because we've got some individual awards for them. And when we finish, we want to give them a rousing round of applause for a great season, one of the greatest wins in Clay County history. Went over hard. First of all, from the Courier Journal, honorable mention All-State with Mark Jason Smith. Please come forward and pick up an honorable mention All-State certificate. From the Courier Journal also, a member of the All-State Basketball Squad, Mr. Chris McKinney. Now for our individual awards. Our leading field goal percentage shooter, a guy who hit 184 out of 288 for an average of 63 and 9/10%, which makes a new school record, Mr. Jay Henry. Our leading three-point field goal percentage shooter, a guy who hit 66 out of 172 for 38.5%, Mark Jason Smith. Our leading rebounder, 330 rebounds, an average of 9.7 per game. percentage shooter. He had 125 out of 128. At one time, he racked one setting a new school record. I think he had hit 28 in a row. 84.5% from the foul line. Mark Jason Smith. The winner of our Tiger Award that we'll award each year to an individual who plays like a tiger and exhibits all the things that we want from one. A guy who worked his hard, came into the game when we asked him to, and played as well as he possibly could. And never on the floor did he give you less than 110% of what he did. We think he's going to be a great player in the future. He averaged 14.5 for the freshmen, 11.5 for the JVs this year. Look for a great future for him. Dante Wade. The winner of the Most Assists Award, which goes to the individual who has the most assists for the season, that's pretty well self-explanatory, Mr. Chris McKissick. Someone said, Coach, don't want that ball. I don't know. All right, our best defensive player, this is a guy that we've been out there night after night and to put on the best players that the other team had as he played out the floor. He did a great job for us in the game with Harlem. If you remember the game, we had an individual assigned to Michael Jones. Michael Jones went 3 for 17. He was rated as the 8th best player in the state of Kentucky. But yet he goes 3 for 17 and really hurt his ball from. And the reason he did was because this guy was guarding. Guarding him well. Our best defensive award goes to Henry Garrett. We give a best all-around athlete this year. This goes to the individual who excels in a lot of categories. Maybe he comes up second and third in a lot of things. Our winner of that award this year got 63.9% from the field, 13-point average, 5 rebounds a game, 57 steals, played the point on defense on occasion, played the pivot on defense on occasion. He did a lot of things. He's a great track man, a great baseball player, a great football player, a great basketball player, and a great individual. Our best all-around athlete is Jay Hester. We also did 425. This week I thought I would let up on him when I squeezed out here. I'm afraid I hurt that boy. Our next award we call our Coach's Award. We give that to an individual that we feel like most exemplifies what we as a coach want out of an athlete. A guy that will do anything that's necessary to make the team better. He doesn't worry about himself. He doesn't worry about anything except his ball club. You need him, he'll pack satchel, he'll pack equipment, he'll pack towels. On 2 occasions this year, one of these starters left the jersey at home. And one thing I will not do as a coach is look down a row and tell a boy, give it the boy his jersey. And you hate to play without a starter. Both times he raised up to 8. He can help out. So they got to play. I love this kid. I hope he makes a great play. Our Coach's Award goes to a fellow who did everything he could to make Flint County basketball better, from bringing me water to Garden Chris McKissick. Travis Little. Our Scholastic Award, this is always so close because you got all these great students up here. You got the James, you got the Chris. What's that sticker about here? I've got all these over here, these young guys over here. But somewhere or another, one guy's going to wiggle it out this year. The winner of that Scholastic Award with a 4-point GPA, a 99.2 average, we barely squeezed a couple of these guys. One of our great students here at Clay County High School, Mark Jason Smith. I felt Mark that really, it wasn't that close. He had about a couple of points. Chris said he's another 6 weeks he got him. We have one award here that's brought over from Panther Country. country that they asked us to present here. It's the WKL2 Most Valuable Player Award. They give it to the individual who's voted player of the game each year. Ricky Whitehead does that broadcast. He asked us to present it. The guy who won the Most Player of the Game award for WKLB this year and was voted their most valuable player, Mr. Mark Jason Smith. We have two other awards left. These are a most valuable player. This season, we got a tie for a most valuable player by two very deserving individuals. Two individuals who really have to carry this ball club, even though everybody contributes. Usually there's one that stands out just a little bit more. This year we had some great people who contributed to great teams. But the winners of our most valuable player award is tie are Mark Jason Smith and Chris McKinney. Before these boys sit down, let me say this. It was a great last final season. Winning the regional tournament in my last year as a coach is something I will always remember. There are certain games throughout your lifetime that you remember. I remember when we won at East Middlesbrough in 1973 with Robert Mayhall to get us started towards the first regional championship that I ever won. Of course, I remember 1987 winning the state championship. Behind those two great wins, or right there with Middlesbrough, I placed the Harlan game that these guys won this year. A great win, one that all Flake Countyans had to be proud of. A great game. For the first time in 24 years, the only time up until that point, we used straight 2-3 shots, nothing else. We never put it in the game until the day we walked out Harlan. We practiced on it for a couple of weeks. Nobody knew we had it. It worked great. The boys performed good. Kelly waited till there was only 2 seconds left before the last bucket, so they wouldn't have any time to beat us. That was smart, Kelly. That's the reason I'm sending him to center next year. If he hit that thing with 5 seconds, we'd have to stop him again, but he knew what he was doing. So he waited till 2 seconds to play. Chris over here goes 13 for 22 and scored 34 points out of the 56. Henry stops on Michael Jones, dead as door now. Mark Jason does a great job. The Jay matches up with Thomas and holds him to 19 points. The guys on the bench, they do just like me. They cheerlead like the devil. So we all doing a good job. It was a great win that I always remember. It was a great season. And when you think about it, 28-5, 4 tournament championships, ranked number 7 in the state of Kentucky, and so very, very, very close. It would have been by far. I really believe that we might have won it all. Let's give these boys a standing ovation for a great season and a lot of great fun. Joe Ann said that was the end of the first program. We feel you great, and all the coaches have to go fast. He said, "Now we're going." We'll take about 10 minutes break. We'll stop and we'll start the second part of the program. Thank you. great tradition that brought us a lot of great times and great memories. Coach Bobby Keith, after a very long and successful career, and he says he's going to hang it up, but the memories are just tremendous. Coach Keith, through his career, 696 wins and 111 losses. And I had an opportunity to be a manager on the 73 squad that went to the Sweet 16, so I had worked closely with him a long time. And of course, his longtime assistant, Coach Campbell, he came along when I was a freshman in PE. Well, anyway, he put me in shape. Thanks, Red. Nice class. Larry Sizemore, longtime assistant, of course, Joanne Wrigley. She and I graduated together, and we actually walked to the basketball coordination. She was in her tiger outfit with a basketball, and I have a 50 gold blazer. So I go back a long time with these folks. Of course, in the radio business since 1976, I've been very proud to be the voice of the Clay County Tigers. And boy, it's been fun. We've had a lot of victories and a lot of great memories. And I'm just so proud to be a little part of such a tremendous and successful program and a class act. Hardworking, extremely intelligent, hardworking class act, Coach Bobby Keith. And there's a lot of folks who will have some nice things to say about these folks, so I'm going to get things going here and introduce Coach Bobby Keith. Coach Keith.
Thank you very much. What I would like to do as the first part of this program is, throughout the 24 years that I've been head coach, there's been some people that stood beside of me and done some great things to make my job a lot easier. They've shown me a great deal of love and a great deal of loyalty, more than you could ever realize, unless you were in there each day working with them and sweating with them. And I want to recognize those people that have helped to make Clay County basketball great. One fellow, he hasn't been coaching with us the last 2 years, but he spent 22 years of his life in Clay County basketball as our freshman, our B-team coach, and as our JV coach. He won 456 games and only lost 76, while the top 20 for 67. He got all those great Clay County players that you saw playing, juniors and seniors. He got them ready for us as freshmen and sophomores. And I wanted him to be here with us tonight so that I could personally, these are some more awards that I personally got, that I wanted to give to him and some of these other people that have meant so much to me, that have stood by me so loyally and with so much love and with so much hard work through so many years. Our first award, William Big Red Campbell. I got to pull this thing out, Bill, let me see all of it. I got it upside down, but if I do, you'll never have your pants always fell down on the floor. So I do that. You know what's going to be showing? He isn't dope, but he's that type of mixture. Something that people like to call it. Here we have a plaque for Coach Campbell from 1971 to 1992. It lists all the accomplishments of the Clay County Tigers that he was a member of. A great person, a great coach, and a great winning percentage, and a person who dedicated his life to Clay County athletics. Thanks for having me, Coach Campbell.
I'm not much participating no more, no good enjoy it, but I have really enjoyed coaching basketball here at Clay County long, and I really enjoyed working with Coach Keith. He taught me a lot, and I hope that he enjoyed me, and I hope that I helped him out a lot on some of them wins. We had some good times, and we had some hard times. I've been all over this state scouting ball games. People don't realize how much time it takes to be a good coach. As many of the time we would leave here after practice and drive to far in the state, even Hopkinsville, and be back to school the next morning ready to work. This is what it takes if you don't have a winning program. And I've really enjoyed doing this, doing my part. I always try to do the best I could. And Coach always helped me, and he taught me a lot. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everybody else who's helped me. And I'd like to say one thing about, I haven't quit coaching. I'm coaching baseball. I had a real good team this year. We ended up in getting beat in the regional tournament. It was one of the nicest bunch of kids I've ever coached. So I'm still in it, and I'm still enjoying it. Thank you.
The guy that won a lot of ball games for us, he got a lot for me. We've got some great tales that we can share together that can crack you up over the years, but I don't know where I'll spit those out there, but I really appreciate Coach Calvin. Our next individual is a person who's been with me for 14 years. She passes out the suckers on the bus before every game. Everybody's got their lucky color, and everybody gets their lucky color. She's won more awards than probably any coach up here, including myself. The list of her accomplishments are listed in this program here, and she did not want to put these in there, but I insisted that they go in. I won't even attempt to read it, but if you look at your program, 1994, 1993, 92, 91, she fills up a complete sheet of awards that she's won for Clay County. She's the best cheerleader of them all because she can fire a team up and she can get a team ready to play. And she's a person that I will always love and I will always admire. And I'm glad that she was here when I was here. Miss Joanne Gregory. This is a picture of Joanne. I know you think it's Rockdale Wells. No. Take my word, this is Joanne. Beside of it, it has all the accomplishments that she has done for the 14 years she's been here. I personally wanted to award this to her. To let her know how much I love her, how much I appreciate her, how much I'm going to miss being there with her on Steve Month. Thank you, Joanne. Our next award goes to our assistant coach, who's also retired with me. A great deal of love, a great deal of loyalty. I never asked you to go anywhere in the world to just get up and go. Didn't matter if you was tired, and I said, I want you to scout so-and-so, Western Kentucky, so-and-so at Covington, so-and-so at Louisville. He was going to do it. Once I told him to scout the Australia. He looked at me very funny. We were playing them into work. I said, Melbourne. He looked at me funny and get out the Donald Johnson special. But he never failed to go whenever we needed him to go. He came back with a great report. He was a great worker on the floor, a great motivator of young men, a great person to have around. He added greatly to Clay County basketball. I appreciate his loyalty. I appreciate his hard work. Mr. Mike White. This is another plaque with his picture on there. And again, it is Mike. It's got one of the movie stars, so he's your heart out, Roberta. You're just going to have to wait. It shows all the things we did and all the years that Mike was here. I'll always appreciate Mike, and I'll always think greatly of him. A great teacher and a great coach, Mike White. Another individual who's also retiring with me. He means so much to Clay County basketball. One of the most brilliant basketball minds I've ever seen. A lot of the things that you saw me do on the sidelines, he told me to do. I give him credit for a lot of wins. We made it to the state tournament this year. He's the guy that talked me into playing a 2-3 star. I did not want to play it. I listened to him. He knows his basketball. He knows how to win. He knows how to motivate young people. He's a great coach and a great person. And I just couldn't tell you how much he means to me in words. Mr. Larry Sizemore has been with me 22 years.
I just want to say one thing before I sit down here. I didn't tell him how to do the Ali shuffle and all that stuff. He had up and down the sideline.
He did tell me when to do it sometimes. Like old Sammy Aldridge sat there, we were playing the state tournament in 1978, and we were getting some bad calls, and we were in the ball game right down to the end, and finally with 20 seconds, Sammy come over and he said, "It gets down to about time for a technical foul. We should have got one earlier." So with 2 seconds to go out the wheel, he said, "Down." I went, "God, it's just because Sammy told me to." So you got to listen to these guys that know what they're talking about. But in all sincerity, this was a great staff that was put together. We had, I think, the best cheerleading sponsor in the state of Kentucky. They rewarded her for that as cheerleading coach of the year in 1990. Her awards couldn't be outdone by anyone. I had a great assistant coach in Bill Campbell for 22 years. Larry Sizemore was with me for 22 years. A great coach, Mike White for 10. We couldn't have put together a greater staff. We had James Purcell for the last 2, and hopefully, and I think he will, James will carry on that tradition the same as the other coaches that was here. I think Clay County basketball will remain great under him. I think it'll be good for many years to come. And to these individuals that stood with me that long, I personally want to give those awards just so that they would have an idea of how much I appreciate them. Even though an award can never be defined, I can never say what you actually feel in your heart. I really appreciate what these people did for me and did to make Clay County basketball the finest in the state of Kentucky. Thank you.
There are several former Clay County Tigers and also former cheerleaders that were under Coach Keith and Joanne. If you would, please stand. Some great memories. We appreciate it. Coach, before we go on, got a letter from one of your former players, and he asked that he couldn't be here, but he asked that I read this at tonight's presentation. I'll leave the name to last, maybe you can pick out a few. Start with Coach. I wanted to congratulate you on a wonderful career and express my appreciation for what you have done for me. Coach, what you taught me as a basketball player didn't stop when I graduated from Clay County High School. I realize now that while you were teaching me the skills necessary to become a successful player on the basketball court, you were teaching me the skills necessary to become a successful person in life. You instilled in me the drive and desire to become the best I can possibly be at whatever I attempt. You taught me the importance of being a friend to my players as well as coach. You are still always there for that little bit of advice whenever asked. Thank you for those motivational speeches you were always eager to give. They pushed me to become a better player and a better man. I will always remember the Bible verse you quoted when I questioned why you were after me all the time, with Proverbs 28:23. He that rebuketh a man afterward shall find more favor than he that flattereth with the tongue. You were usually going to flatter us with the tongue. It goes on, as I begin my coaching career, it is my hope that I can be as influential with my players' futures as you were in mine. Thank you for your time, your knowledge, and for being a friend. Sincerely, Richard Hampton. That's the preacher in you. At this time, Joanne Gregory has a few presentations to make. Let me say this about Joanne. Wore a lot of hats here at Clay County High School, and I'm sure a lot of the administration will miss Joanne.
First of all, I wanted to have a roast tonight. I thought that we had some very wonderful candidates here that we could just toast and roast and roast and toast. And if I say yay, they say nay. And if I say black, they say white. So I gave up and I said, whatever you all say. But they have killed me. Don't spend any money on me. Don't. What are you talking about now? You're doing a wonderful job. I mean, it's got to be decent here. But anyway, I stood up with the lot for 14 years just to tell you the truth, and I wish that I had time that I could tell some stories that probably would make the song last for a long time. But what I want to say right now is just thank you, Chief and very special people. During the 14 years that I have been out here, I feel like that I've met and made some of the best friends I've probably ever had in my life. My name is like Joe, and I don't have them ties, they're just not pretty when you try. Well, I was never trying to be pretty, so if it gets bad, just close your eyes, and I'll be finished in a few minutes. But anyway, I'm trying to give thank you notice to all the people that have helped me in 14 years, and I decided that this cost us money, I'm never going to be finished. My list is just get longer and longer and longer. But through these past 14 years, I have to honestly say that I have had the most memorable portion of my life. And most all the fun times and the good times, a lot of them have been associated with basketball at Clay County High School. Girls basketball and boys basketball. And I thank God for the opportunity just to be associated with some of the wonderful people that I have been given the privilege to work with. We've traveled places that I never had been before. We've traveled as a family, and it was always a lot of fun. But as I was wearing the string, I see some very special friends. I see some of my old cheerleaders, and I don't mean old as an age, because I'm getting to the point where I resent that word. Also, I see some tigers from years gone by, and so I can always think of little stories, each and every one of you that I see that play here. I can tell a story about you. It's your thing that you say, y'all write a book of memoirs, Joanne, and then they say, no, you better not. It might be an expose, which it might be. But anyway, also parents, I've had the honor and the privilege of working with Clay County's best people, mamas and daddies, grandparents, just wonderful people. And then I see some businessmen out in the crowd, and I know you're glad I'm quitting, because I have bumped and begged and sold out and done everything in the name of this glorious educational institution. And hopefully those days are over and that we can just be friends and not in a funny sort of way. And then I've got to be friends with some people who just love taking basketball. And I have to say that I'm proud. I've never been embarrassed to say that I'm from Clay County. I'll put my degree up against anybody. We got the professor who is right here in our county, and I'm proud to say that I am from here. But I need to just particularly thank a few people. First of all, Mr. Willie Stockholm. I'll never forget about 14 years ago, I didn't really know what I was going to be doing. I was sort of in limbo. And I could hear him say, after he told me that I'd be at the high school, Joe, I'm going to let you do the cheerleading in the future. Little did I know the changes that my life was going to go through. That grew into prom and homecoming and all these other everything. And Mr. Sophomore, I thank you because you gave me a job first of all, and I'm sure you didn't mean for them to mistreat me the way they have. Also, I want to thank Mr. White. He's not there for the gospel here, has he? I want to thank Mr. White for not firing me because we've had some upheavals here since he's been out here, and we've fussed and carried on, but he's good and stayed in my corner most of the time. Also, I know they're not here, but I have to say thank you to Mr. Lee Brown and Mr. Bell Jones. They were there when I began, and they were always in my corner. Didn't matter what, if I thought it was right, they thought it was wonderful. Just things I didn't bother them with it. They went to take care of your problems, and we were right behind you all the way. And then I need to thank my two bosses that I have right now, Mr. Adams and Mr. Murray. I want to thank them for just putting up with me because I have really had a bad time for the last year or two, and they kind of walk on eggshells. Mr. Murray will peek around my door before he comes in if I throw a foreign object at him. But I love him dearly, and I couldn't get better bosses if I looked the world over. Also, I want to thank three people that I've worked with at the cheerleading. BB, one of the best friends I've ever had in my life. The Debbie Mills and Pam. I couldn't have made it without them because sometimes it's hard to be two places at one time. And I started out, I tried to go to all the girls' games and all the boys' games and do everything else. And then it got to the point where I wasn't really doing anything real well, and I had to decide I was going to do yearbook and do the job that Mr. Sizemore was paying me to do, and that was travel with the boys' varsity cheerleaders. But during that time, I had the privilege and pleasure of working with Coach Donnie Gray, and we got to a year off the Grove too. And Keith Jones, I can't think of a better friend the world over. These people are dear to me, and I think we'll always be real close, even though we might not be basketball friends. I hope we're just God friends. And I have to thank Mr. Jimmy Rowe. Jimmy Rowe has pulled more miracles out of his hat for me with T-shirts and anything we need to go the second mile. We've always had this little tradition, the finals of the regional tournament. Jimmy would have to throw a mysterious bundle in his pocket or somewhere on him, and I would find him in the crowd. We always knew we were going to win. And so when the second that buzzer went off, I'd take off the Jimmy and get the ladies and T-shirt designs that proclaimed us the regional champions once again. He almost got whipped about 2 years ago by Harlan's coach's wife. I won't mention her name. I almost got whipped, and I'm still real sorry about this, Jimmy, wherever you are. I know you're here, but I do appreciate it. And all the business people that I met specifically thank Jeff Woods because I had to stay all my years. He's the only man that just brought me a check this year when we won region to go in to see the cheerleaders and go to state. And you ain't get something you get money, you don't ask for it. And I mean, that was just the first, but Jack's been there always, Jack White's always been there, on and on and on. Good people that helped us with our program, and I do appreciate it. I appreciate Mr. Adler and Frank and Cecil for helping me with the district and regional tournament this year. That was another nightmare, but it came out all right. And I especially want to thank Agnes Stivers and the cafeteria staff because they did all this. I just said, Agnes, we finally caught Coach Keith in the single food, you take care of it. It's done. So anything that we have out here, these ladies, they can put on the dials with the best of them, no caterers or any better anywhere. And I appreciate every single thing that they do to help you in our school. Also, you parents, you know, have just a few little gifts that I would like to give. I wanted to give guys gifts, and then I thought, well, it's going to be a pretty serious thing. But anyway. Actually, I got these for the assistant coach. But really and truly, I hope their wives will find some business for them. Because I think they just make wonderful little Christmas things. It's good golfers, because that's where they all want to be right now. They're mad because they're here. You're fixed like me, you're not golfers. They all want to be golfing right now. So I thought, well, what more could I give them? But they wouldn't golfer, they could always have. And it's their personal life. This one says, I know. say what BL stands for on the last two rods. I want Mr. Birdley's Clyde to come forward. I have something here that says Big Red. I got married to Red 2 years ago because he just fell off the space surf. He didn't tell anybody he quit, and we didn't get to have any kind of party or anything for him. But Big Red and me, we go way back, 12 years or however long. We always had one big disagreement. That devil bypass. I swear, we left starters. We had starters hanging out the windows, hurling all over the highway. We never could convince him that the best way was the straight way. No, we go the back way. That's just been a redhead thing. That's all I know. And last but not least, this man, some days he's poison ivy, some days he's Ivy Reed, but he's always Ivy, and he's always a good friend. He killed me because he turned into an nosy little gossip. Every paper that I've had laying around for the last 2 weeks, they don't spend any money on me. I do not want any surprises, nothing, no, not. So it's like, if I call Steph about the weather, what was he talking about? What are y'all talking about now? Who was that? I mean, he really caused us some problems. So, I only felt like he was feeling that I did everything he said not to do. We were going to have surprises. I did give him a little money. I got him and Ted, since in their retirement, they're going to be building a new home. And some people don't really know that his name is Bob. I have to think about it. But in my heart and in my mind, he will always be Coach. So I got Coach and Ted a new door knocker for their new home, and it said Coach and Ted. Then I used to do presentations for other people who don't have the nerve and extra that year. I don't know why. But we just felt like the coaches up here, that it would only be fitting that we go together, since we spend so much time, sort of like a family, and give Coach you something just from us. Just a little token of appreciation and whatever. And I think they approved of what I picked out. Well, actually, Timo and I have burned the phone lines up with some things I thought were cool we didn't think Coach was right. So, anyway, we have him a beautiful top that says Coach Bobsky, Coach Young Tigers, 1970 to 1994, 696 wins, 111 losses. I promise. Just a few more words if you'll bear with me. Through these 14 years, I'm sure I made a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of bad judgment calls. But I want you to know one thing. My heart was always in the right place, or I thought it was. And the bottom line was that I loved my girls. And we may not have won state in cheerleading. We never did, matter of fact. But I taught my girls that your job is to cheer for your team and to entertain our fans. And in those two areas of cheerleading, I don't think there's anybody in this nation that can touch my girls. And they always love to cheer for their team. It's sort of like a family thing when you give your kids roots and you give them wings. You as parents know a lot more about that than I do. But you have to understand that we get reciprocation with the kids too. We spend about as much time, and sometimes through basketball season, we probably see your kids more than you do. And we spend time on that old yellow school bus, and we sit in gyms and we wait, and we get to be like a family. And I thank God more than anything for all of these good friends that I have made during my 14 years. Most especially, you men up here, I give you a hard time, but I love you all dearly, and I thank all of you.
Joanne. Great job, Joanne. Mr. Willie Sizemore is next. He has some words he'd like to say to these folks who are retiring after a tremendous career. Mr. Willie Sizemore. Well, I'm not really a public figure, but here I am. I can reminisce about the past. When I was teaching at Clay County High School, I started teaching in 1953 and retired from teaching in 1957. Somewhere in between there, I had the privilege of having Bobby Keith. He was long-legged 14-year-old freshman. He came back to Clay County High School and he coached for under Skylar Garrison maybe a year or two, free just to get his football. The superintendent we had at that time didn't believe paying people a lot. He worked for free. But anyway, down through the years, I've seen Bobby Keith intimidate more referees than any man in the world. And if there are referees in this crowd, they're just here to hooray when he goes. And I hear I love. He knew just exactly how far to go without getting thrown out of the gym. I saw that happen only one time. That they evicted him from the gym. But he survived that too. And I know down through the years he pulled some out that looked like they were sure lost. And I have given up a lot of times on Bobby when out of the blue he'd pull something off and win the game. And I'd say right off the top of my head, he's the best coach in the state of Kentucky, and there probably never will be another equal to him. And he's a born winner and always has been, and it's been a privilege and pleasure of mine to have known him all these years that I've known him. And that goes back to somewhere in the mid-50s. Mr. Red Campbell, I've known him since he was a little leaguer out at Ramsey Park. His pants were always too short. I never could get a uniform that would come down to play off to. But he's probably the greatest JV coach that in the state of Kentucky. He's won more basketball games in all probability, percentage-wise, than any coach in the state of Kentucky. Down through the years, he was JV coach and assistant coach. Fred has been an outstanding athlete and a good basketball man. He never gave up. And that all thought sitting over there on me, and I've known him since the day he was born. He can't stand to lose. I used to play in a little one-on-one, and by the time he was 8, he used to beat me, and I quit. Then we'd play badminton, and if I happened to beat him, he would press the racket. So he never could stand to lose. When he was in high school, if he lost a ball game, he'd come home and cry and blame himself. And Joanne, I've known her since she was about 6 years old. Her papa used to bring her out to the Board of Education office when he would come in to see me as president. And she would wait in the outer room with me and keep me entertained. Joanne has always been full of questions. She was a little red-headed girl with she's a great person. And this is just a wonderful group of people up here. Mr. Mike White, I never did get real well acquainted with him, but I knew his dad, who was a personal friend of mine. And when he was a sick man, he asked me to take care of Mike when Mike finished school. And the year Mike graduated, he started teaching school. I knew Ben a lot better than I know Mike, but I know that Mike and him had a good stuff. I guess I have said enough, but these people, I think, the world off, some of them, have been especially kind to me down through the years. On which will make them. Oh, by the way, I want to wish y'all Happy birthday, the best of luck. They got some big shoes to fill. Good job. Willie, maybe you'll talk show next week. Our next speaker is the principal of Clay County High School, Mr. Doug Atkins.
I've got mine written out. It's going to be about an hour long. I'll tell you what, there's been some people up here that just ain't the problem. I don't know what I can say about Bobby Keith. I'm not as old as these other people are, and I've not been around here that long. But I came here in 1986 under Mr. Lee Brown, one of the finest men I've ever known. Very honorable gentleman. I wish he was here tonight to be a part of it. I can't say anything about Bobby that's not already been said. But he has meant a lot to me personally. I came to Clay County High School in 1986 just in time to witness and participate in what I believe to be one of the greatest moments in Clay County High School basketball. During this time, under Coach Bobby Keith, basketball program at Clay County High School achieved phenomenal success. I believe that most of this is due to the single-minded dedication of one man's desire to win. That desire was so intense, and his cause was so great, it pulled everyone around him into it with him. There's a period in time when magical things happen. It's as if the hand of God was on this little community here in Manchester today. We lived a fairy tale during those times. It was stuff of dreams and legends. It could very well never happen again. But if it never does, I give thanks that I was a part of it, and the man behind it all was Bobby Keith. We believed in him, his teams believed in him, and neither Coach Keith nor those teams ever failed him. So, Coach, I know it's been tough at times. I've shared some of those with you. So we've certainly had some memorable times together, and I'll certainly never forget it. And as Bob Hope said, thanks to him. A little token of our esteem to you, we'd like to send you this basketball time to community to your former place.
One of the great rivalries in Kentucky high school basketball will be known as the Clay County Tigers and the Ballard Bruins. They had some memorable matchups in the 80s. Ballard continued to come to Manchester in the preseason and square off with the Tigers in a scrimmage game. Two great programs, two of the best programs anywhere. And here tonight to honor Coach Keith and the Clay County coaching staff, Scotty Davenport, coach of the Ballard Bruins.
It's embarrassing to say I don't get a standing ovation of course. It's easy to say that this is the best I've ever been received by this group, no question. You know, one thing I believe in, I'm being very serious now, is that you're never the same. Each and every day, you get a little bit better, a little bit worse. You just don't stay the same as a person, as a player. It doesn't make any difference. So my goal every day when I get up and look in the mirror is I'm going to try to make myself a little better. You say, well, how do you go about that? Well, look who I go see tonight. I mean, I've got, you know, there's one of the best official in the state, referee back there, so now when I referee on the bench, I'll be a little better. I'm around more wins here. I mean, if it just rubs off with me, when I go home tonight and lay my head down, believe me, I'm going to be better. So I'll tell you one thing, a little story. My first, you know, you don't think I admire this guy. I'm better qualified than anybody in this room to state how difficult it is to do what he's been able to accomplish. A lot of people here say, yeah, I was talking to Richie Russ's dad, he says, oh, you know, I know how tough it is what Coach Keith does. No, you don't know. You say, I know. And I think I'm really a heck of a basketball coach. We've averaged 28 wins a year. Well, all I've got to do is coach another 17.8 years to be able to win as many as he's won. Hey, there's no way. You know, I figured that up this morning, and my day was a downer ever since. I said, I can't do it. But you know, I'm going to tell you a little story. The dad was mentioned in 1987. Now, I'm a first-year coach. We're at Rupp Arena. And I give you all now, I bet everybody, I bet 95%, maybe 99, maybe 100% of the people in this room were there. Well, let me tell you a little something about that night. I'm sitting on the bench in Rupp Arena. First-year coach, first-year head coach. And I think it doesn't make any difference. We're going to win the game. We're really playing well. Until one thing happened. It just took a little bit of my confidence away. I'm walking down toward the midcourt, go toward our end of the floor to watch us warm up. And Marvin Moore, an official from the eastern part of the state, and a gentleman named Ernie Liggett, meet with the captain. We send out Allen Houston and Mark Bell, two great players. They send out Russ and Richie. And right there, I knew we were a little bit of trouble when I heard Marvin Moore say, Ballard captain, your basket will be to my right. Richie Russ, ours is down here to my left. We had no shot. You know, but I really appreciate from the bottom of my heart this guy. He thinks that it's true. That's Richie Russ. He's been an awful lot to me, someone that I admire. Because what he's been able to accomplish, he accomplished the right way. But he's also a great friend, and I think that's very unique. You know, I spent about an hour and a half with him after they were defeated in the state tournament back in the corner of Freedom Hall out of the way, just the two of us. And I said, Bob, now I hope to see you. I think Chris will be invited to the All-Stars down at London. Maybe we'll spend a weekend together. You're like, oh, Coach, no, it's okay. Coach, come on down. You can spend the night at my house. It's on me. So I came to London. No Coach Keith. I asked Chris. Chris will tell you. I said, Chris, where's Coach Keith? He's in Atlanta at a clothes buy. You know, I don't have awards as good as Joanne, but I got an envelope full of bills from hotels and eating. Because I got a little cool sitting on his front porch waiting for him to come back. I'll tell you one thing that we were reminiscing, this is really neat for me. We played 3 times in a calendar year in 1987-88. An overtime game in Rupp Arena, Clay County wins the 87 state championship, 76-73. They defeat us in the semifinals of the Louisville Invitational Tournament, Broadbent Arena. We come back and fortunate enough to beat them in the 88 Freedom Hall in the state tournament. Those 3 games, people, those are epic high school games.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We played 3 basketball games, 3 separate overtimes added on to them. That's 105 minutes of basketball. That's in front of 44,000 plus people with black kids from the inner city of Louisville, black kids from the suburbs of Louisville, white kids from the suburbs of Louisville, a coach from the mountains, a coach from the south end of Louisville, as different as anybody could possibly be. To go out there, tap each other on the rear end, shake hands, and play a great game. The way it's supposed to be played, with nothing, no prejudices, no thoughts of ill will toward anyone, but to compete. And of all that, you add the total points up of those 3 games, and it's absolutely dead even. Now, I'm not trying to be corny, but that is why we're supposed to have high school athletics. And it's because of the gentleman that we came down here to see tonight, I'll guarantee you. Now, back to him being a heck of a man. He also, on one of these preseason scrimmages, says, Coach, you ought to come over to my store. I've learned that, I like to dress a little better. I said, sure. He says, when the scrimmage is over, bring a couple of your assistants and come on over. So we go over to the store. Boy, that's a fancy place. I have one assistant that can really dress. I said, what the, that's good stuff. So we go in, and I said, Coach Keith, where's the fitting room? I'd like to try on this pair of slacks and this sport coat. He goes, well, that store's been closed. It's about 6. Just put them on right there. That's all right. Myself, 2 assistants. Down the pants go, off the coat, right in the aisle. I mean, that's what he said. That way we don't run back and forth. He goes, so off we go. There we are. For everybody and God to see. And he's leaning over the clothes rack. He says, I reckon those surveillance cameras are off. And you wonder if we'd have played that during the state tournament, if he would have walked out with videotape in his hand. It's easy for me to say this in all honesty, that when they talk about high school basketball, when they talk about Kentucky, where it's played better than it is anywhere in the country, there's one guy that each and every morning, that each and every coach in this country at every level, JV, freshman, middle school, B team, it doesn't make any difference. When they wake up, they've got to want to be like Bobby Keith. And I don't know how anybody can compliment anyone any more than that, other than to say this. Now, I've got 2 little boys, 6 and 8. One of them named Russ, and it's not named after Russ Farmer. Sorry. But I'll tell you what, I just hope if they ever play anything, and this is the greatest compliment a coach can have, is that they're fortunate enough to play for a gentleman like Bobby Keith. Thank you.
Next to speak is a very distinguished journalist of many years, a great friend of Kentucky athletics, a legend in sports in Kentucky, Mr. Earl Fox.
Thanks a lot, Joe and Joanne. I have to follow that. Thanks for listening. I got to follow that. You want a roast, right? You want a roast? When Bobby had his open heart surgery, Commissioner Billy Wise and I went to see him. And, I don't know why it is, but when a person gets cut on, first thing he wants to know is, you don't see the scars? Well, I didn't want to see the scars. He started ripping that hospital gown open. And I'm startled, because now I know why he wins all these basketball games. He's got crosses on his chest. Speaking of that story, Bobby, invariably when I would call Coach Keith, when I was still full-time in the sports writing business, I'd call about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. And this nice little girl, I'm sure she was a secretary, maybe she was a student, I'd say, I want to speak to Coach Keith, please. And she said, well, I don't know where he is now. I don't think we can get him now. I said, well, can't you take him? No, we can't take him. And I said, well, I'm a friend of his, Mr. Earl Cox. He said, oh, he's down at the store. Bobby doesn't want me to tell the story, but he went fishing one time with the basketball coach from Corbin. And Bobby fell in, and the Corbin coach had to fish him out to save his life. And Bobby drying himself off with a boat. He said, he said, I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't tell anybody about this. He said, those people back in Clay County
think I can walk on water. He said, I appreciate it if you would. So the Corbin coach said, all right, I'll make a deal with you. He said, I won't tell that I had to save your butt if you won't tell the Corbin people that I did. Now, what Coach Davenport didn't tell you all, and this is a true story. We've been friends a long time, and my 3 children went to Ballard High School. And he called me one day and he said, listen, he said, Coach Keith called me up and he wants me to come up there and play a preseason game. And I said, well, are you going? And he said, well, I'm asking you, should I go? And I said, well, the key question is, are you going up there and try to win? And he said, well, of course. I said, don't go. I said, number one, you ain't going to win. And number two, if you did, you won't get back to Louisville to tell that. Bobby, I tell you, I was going to say that they couldn't replace you, but they already have. But the 2 people I guarantee you all won't be able to replace are Joanne Gregory and my buddy, Sitter. I tell you, when Sitter goes to the state tournament and wears those black and gold outfits, every time I turn around the press table, she's being interviewed by all the TV stations from Louisville and Lexington and Bowling Green and Paducah. She's the most famous person in the state. I tell you, I like to get the state tournament program. That one page that has all the state championship games, teams that won, championship coaches, runner-up teams, and runner-up coaches. And you can pick out the great ones, the great coaches, and the great teams if their names are on that page. And I have 3 criteria. 1, did a coach win the state championship? Yes, he did. Ever runner-up? Yes, he was. And the number of times that he brings a team to the state tournament. And Bobby has another friend in the coaching business, Dave Fraley, down in Pulaski County. And we were doing the draw for the state tournament one year on KET. And Dave Fraley, Pulaski County team, had won the state tournament the year before, so he got the draw for the boys that time. And I said, who's going to win the 13th region? He said, Bobby Keith is as sure as there's snow in February. And that's just about the truth. Bobby, very seriously, I want you, when you get up there, when it gets your turn, I want you to tell these people as well as you can, just repeat what you said after your last game, because I'm from the mountains too. You're from the mountains, and I guarantee you, I have never felt more proud of what Bobby Keith said, and he'll tell you what he said. And I'll tell you something else. I never thought I'd hug a coach, and I'm sure a coach never thought he'd hug a course rider, but very proudly he did, because he is a great, great man. He's a great basketball coach, and what he has done for Eastern Kentucky is unmatched. Thank you all. When I was asked to get up here and say something about Coach, it's something that it's a guy that I've looked up to for many years, and basically all I want to say to him is on behalf of all the players and everything, thanks. That sums it up in one word, because everything that Richard Hampton said in his letter, that's what I was going to get up and say to you. Is that not only did he teach the game of basketball, but he taught us about the game of life. And if you applied everything that he told us to do when we went out there to practice every day, to go and play in a game, if you practice those same things, then you'll be a successful person in life. And that's everything that I could ever want from a coach. And once again, I'm lost for words. I don't know what to say except thanks. I love you, and don't worry about having nothing to do, because I know that means you're going to catch a lot of fish. So I think I'll just retire with you. But I want to say again, thanks, and I love y'all. Thank you. have our final speaker, I want to introduce Dorothy Sizemore and Ann Fair, who have a special presentation to make. Dorothy, Ann.
I'm up here, but I want to tell this little story before I start. All year, Bobby had said, Ann, are you retiring this year? And I said, why not reckon? Why? Are you? And he said, I don't know. So I finally said one day, the reason I can't retire, Bobby, is you'll get all the gifts and I won't get any, and I'll wait till next year. To Coach Keith, Assistant Coach Larry Sizemore, Bill Campbell, Mike White, we, the members of the Booster Club, would like to say thank you for all the members and all the things that you have done for Clay County. Tonight, I'm a little bit touched because Bobby, when he came here and Chris came back to play ball, I asked Bobby, will you stay and take care of Chris? And I won't ask you anymore. So I'm not asking Bobby anything else tonight, but I'm just saying thank you and we love you. To Joanne Griggs, who has been a personal friend of mine, I would like to say thank you for all the things that you have done for Clay County High School faculty and friends. We love you. We appreciate you. We will miss you. You all are legends to us. We have a small gift for each one of them. Brad left us last year, but we remember him anyhow. This is someone that really seems close to me. This is Larry Sizemore. He feels like mine sometimes, but I guess not. To Coach Q, if you have any money left, you know, would you kindly remember? And to Mike White. Okay, this is a print of the coaching staff. This is done by a junior here at Clay County High School, Andre Philpott, under the directions of Miss Christine Murray. These will be sold at a minimum price. We want to do it real good because this is a legend. We done t-shirts, huh? Oh my God. We sure want to send some of these back to Fairdale because, you know, what they done to us.
Stanley Evans, a great Clay County sport.
I am not at a loss for words. Everything that I was going to say tonight has been said 3 or 4 times. I would like to tell you what
Bobby Key said that referee when I told him to get that to the foul. He said, you blankety blank, yellow blanket, blankety blank. He said, you're blanker than a bat. That referee said, I don't have to pay that. Two. And coach said, at the first you got right all that. That's the truth. That actually happened. Listen, one of the reasons that this team is successful, Coach surrounds himself with people who are brilliant. I've had all these people in class, every one of them, Joe Burkle and all, and they all are A students. And they work like dogs. They work like dogs. If we were to work in the classroom like Coach Keith and his crew does at basketball, we have the best school system in the state of Kentucky. And I hope some of these days we'll work just half as hard as he does at this program. And Coach, for having the greatest program in the state of Kentucky for the last 25 years, and I've been partaking in basketball, by the way, since 1944. I have very sweet feelings about you leaving. I feel like that's necessary, but I really hate to see you go. And I really appreciate you making me part of this program.
I think the cheerleading squad would like to make a presentation.
Joanne, I know you certainly forgot you, but I mean, after 4 years we've been together, and we've had the best times of our life, and we've got a present for her. It's a megaphone, and it's all, most of the cheerleaders behind it. And Steph, we had a hard time. For you, we love you, Joanne.
We'll let you go after we have the last word from the greatest coach, Coach Bobby Keith. This won't be easy for me to do. First, I'd like to, all those players that played so hard, so well. You made this program special. You made it great. I'd like for you to stand and receive one good round of applause, because I won't be able to recognize all of you without leaving you out. Every one of you has got a special place in my heart. Stand up, please. Look around at those players, see some doctors, some lawyers, CPAs, accountants, assistants, school teachers, the people that go out there and work hard every day. You see some great people there. Maybe we have a little bit to do with that show. We always say, if you walk out on the floor, if you work hard enough, good things are going to happen to you. That's just the
good things happened in Clay County basketball over the years. It was great. It was better than I could ever tell you it was. There were a lot of heartache, a lot of hard times. Sometimes we had to push pretty hard. We always pushed pretty hard. We pushed pretty hard for excellence. The guy that sent this letter here, we've seen was state runner-up in Florida this year. He called me after every game. He came in at the start of his senior year. He'd always played inside, and I would make the point guard out of it. Richie Farmer, Gary Gregory, these other point guards will tell you, it's not easy being a point guard in Clay County. You really have to push hard. Chris would tell you that too. We were trying to make a point guard out of him. And boy, we were pushing him hard. Great athlete, great competitor. He looked at me and he said, Coach, I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Some of you athletes know what I'm talking about, like Ray here. Probably a couple of times he felt like saying that on a couple of practices himself. I'm sure Larry has, and I have too. And it was on Friday, and I said, well, I've pushed you harder, I think, than any player ever has. And I'll think about it till Monday. Come and talk to me Monday. I'll try to do better. Monday he come in, he said, can you be a lot better to me? And I said, no, open my Bible, and there it was. Proverbs 28:23. He that rebuketh his fellow man shall in the long run gain more favor than he of the flattering tongue. He said, what does that mean? I said, I mean, I'm going to give you H-E-L-L till you play that point guard the way I want. He went to the library and checked the Bible. He come back, he said, it's there, and I just might as well play it the way you want. He really has played a great point guard. That's just one story. We got some other stories. Richie Farmer went around last week speaking of great schools. He reminded me one that I told him. He said at the end of my freshman year, I was runner-up for MVP in the state tournament and thought I was doing pretty darn good. But I thought I could play. Said about halfway through the sophomore year, you looked at me, we were ranked number 1 in the state, and I thought it was pretty tough. He said, you looked at me and you said, you can't play yet, and you're no point guard yet. I said, you told me, when you can play, I'll tell you. And he said, you know, I thought about that a lot, and I went back to work hard. Said halfway through the junior year, you put my arm around me, and you said, hey, you're a point guard now. And I said, well, I don't remember that. He said, it happened, and I'll never forget it. And he said, from that moment on, I knew I was a player. Well, there's a lot of these other guys here that sweated a lot and worked a lot, put more of their heart and soul into it than you could ever dream, to make Clay County basketball the finest in the state of Kentucky. You look around at your other mountain counties, they struggle to hit that top 20 once every 10 or 12 or 15 years. Clay County's been there almost every year. I don't want to take the credit for that. I worked hard too. But those players sitting back there among you, they worked like dogs. And they never regretted it. And I don't think it ever hurt them one of them because it taught them. Hard work is what makes good things happen to your life. My assistant coaches here, they did the same thing. When I was raised here in Manchester, and I may talk a little longer than some of you realize, when I was raised here in Manchester, I remember Ray Mills over here playing in 53. I was in the 5th or 6th grade. I went down that dirt road, Ray doesn't know this, dribbling a basketball. Praying to God, someday I can play God. I was lucky enough to play for them in 57 and 58. We won regional championships. And that made a lot of my goals in life come true. And when I played in college, I played my last game, I stood on the side of the bed. I said the greatest thing that could happen would be a coach at Clay County. I got that opportunity thanks to Matty Bledsaw and Willie Seisman and Charles White. And from the time I was a boy, I watched Ray and them guys play, and I thought they were going to win a state championship. They got to the quarterfinals. And I had a goal always to bring a state championship back. I couldn't have the players. These guys brought it back as a team in 87. It was the proudest moment in my life, and probably the proudest moment in the history of Clay County. I was glad to be a part of it. The things that these players have done, no one can ever tell you. Runner-up in 85, state champion in 87, state finalist in 88, third in 90, third in 92, 24 regional championships, 16 of them in the last 24 years. The best high school record in the state of Kentucky over those 24 years. Featured, as you saw on this film clip here, on the Good Morning America show, Peter Jennings with Dick Shaft on the ABC Evening News, ESPN, special articles written on them in the Atlanta Constitution, the Los Angeles Times, the Cincinnati Enquirer, the greatest basketball ever played, the greatest 24 hours of basketball ever turned in the 88 LIT when they walked up there and they took Ballard, Pleasure Ridge Park, and Bardstown, the number 2, 3, and 4 team in the state of Kentucky in 22 hours. The greatest games maybe ever played, you didn't see. It was Russ Farmer, Roger Sims, Box Rollins, Terry Gray, Lloyd Collins. When he walked into Owensboro in the National AAU tournament, defeated 2 straight teams from Tennessee and Oklahoma that had 7 high school All-Americans. Each team had 7 high school All-Americans. The greatest games I ever saw. I wish you could see them. All I can say to you is this. I thank you that you gave me the opportunity to coach here. I worked it as hard as I could. I've had good people around me. I enjoyed it. It was my life. It was a good life. My favorite song has always been One Moment in Time. Give me one moment in time when I can be more than I am. Give me one moment in time when I can make my dreams come true. My dreams came true here at Clay County when we won our 7th state championship. We stood at the top of the mountain. We stood as the best in the state of Kentucky. And you stood with us as loyal fans, as a school. We had the pride, we had the honor, and we had the dignity. Clay County stood at the top of the mountain. And I can't thank you enough for putting us there. And I can't thank these players enough for how hard they worked. And every one of them has a special place in my heart. Every David Stewart over here from Lake City, Tennessee, great high school coach in Tennessee a few years ago. I'll never forget those baseline drives when he beat Mayhaw in Middlesboro in 73. Saw Toddy McDaniel walk in back there. I'll never forget that slip-off pass to Eddie Smith that won that regional tournament in '84. All these great players, and now, like I said, if I name some of them, I'll leave some of them out. Thomas over here, and some of these other great ones, Russ back there. All the great players we had, and all the great members. And nothing could have been better. Nothing could have been better than being your coach for all those great years. I hope that James can duplicate those years because it would be such great fun to sit up there in the stands and see great Clay County teams play in the future. And I think we will. And to USA, thank you for doing the one thing I wanted, for giving me my one moment in time, one moment when we stood at the top. That made my life worth living. Thank you so much.
Coach, we wish you and your family nothing but the greatest of happiness in your years to come. May you catch a state record fish. Just the very best, you and your family and your grandchildren. Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank all of y'all. Thanks for coming.